What's up, inferior species? Did you miss me? I am back on the board, updated, sassier and bolder than ever. Do you like my new body? Today I'm gonna be showing a very interesting game played against Alireza Firouzja and Sergey Fedorchuk. It was played in France in a tournament people are calling Race to Candidates. Alireza is trying to gain a few rating points in order to surpass WhiteElo in rating and therefore get his candidate's rating spot. However, many believe that these particular tournaments aren't exactly super moral because they are designed to give rating to Alireza. I don't know about that, I don't even have human morals, lol. Even though a lot of strange decisions were happening on this tourney, and some people weren't happy, especially WhiteElo. One thing I'm sure, it is definitely one of the tournaments of all time. I may add that Alireza withdrew from the World Rapid and Blitz Championship because he couldn't get the job done since he drew the 6th game, so it's quite likely that he will keep trying to gain the remaining points. Which is not much, only 1.4 is needed. This is the game 5 out of 6, he is currently 5 out of 5, and now, let's find out what happened in this interesting game. E4, best by test, C5, the Sicilian defense, knight f3 d6 d4, takes, knight f6, knight c3, a6, h3. Not the most common move but still quite known by you mortals. This is the Adam's attack from the Najdorf variation. It prevents bishop to g4 and also prepares g4. White might castle on the queen's side and launch an attack on the king's side. Not the dumbest idea you humans have come up with. d5, knight from e to d2. Knight b3 was also possible, but in this case, knight may go to f5 one day if black allows it. Also, it supports the f4 push. So I believe, sorry, I know, it's more precise. h5, best move, preventing g4 but it does weaks the king a little. We now have g3. Giving room for the bishop to develop, still some f4 ideas. Bishop e7 developing, bishop to e3, b5, knight to d5, knight from b to d7. Black doesn't really want to castle without knowing how will white castle. In this type of positions, black might not even castle at all. Knight ec3, bishop goes to b7 putting pressure on the knight, bishop g2, rook c8 putting the rook on a semi-open file, nothing wrong with that. a4, knight is protecting b4 for now, takes and now b4, question mark. This is terrible move because white has now time to play bishop f1 with tempo, attacking a6, and trying to reroute the bishop to e2 and castle long. If rook takes here, bishop goes to c4 threatening mate while also trapping the rook. For instance, if rook takes pawn simply long castle wins the game on the spot. Rook just has no squares, therefore, best for black would be to just give up the exchange for a pawn. But white didn't see any of this, as usual, and proceeded with short castle, a5 supporting b4, c3, trying to break black's structure for no reason, takes, and now after h4 the game is just a dead draw, from my perspective of course. He should have played h4 himself when he had the chance. Game continues with c4, every move draws, short castle, rook fb1, leaving a rook on an open file, even you mortals can understand that's good. Bishop to g5, trying to remove white's good bishop from the board, smart human, bishop takes, queen recaptures, and even though this pawn falls, this knight has a lot of squares to go since all these dark squares are weak. Knight to c5, pawn takes pawn, and queen goes to f4. Black is temporarily down 2 pawns now, but that is not a problem since all of white's pawns are also weak. Rook b5, rook fd8, queen e7, knight e6, and rook d5. Taking the pawn was possible, but giving up this file isn't advisable for organic brains. Rook d8, queen a3, I have no idea what queen a3 does. Queen d6 would threat another pawn, a much better move. Black takes this free pawn, then, always take a free pawn. Queen to g3, offering a queen trade to try to fix the structure, rook check, and rook blocks. If white had traded, queen would capture with check, and the problem now is the knight will jump on the juicy f4 square. If bishop blocks, knight is attacking the rook and while also threatening to fork the queen and the king. If king moves instead, something similar would happen, but now the threat would be mate, basically GG. Rook c2, rook b1, white is starting to crumble. Good thing for Sergey is that Alireza isn't interested in giving him a hard time because he shouldn't have allowed a queen trade for no reason. Now there is only one move that maintains the balance, which is bishop to f1. It controls the knight and prepares rook to b5. White wants to play it right away, but that would just blunder a two moves fork. No way a grandmaster would blunder such a basic move. Right? Rook to b5? Question mark. Question mark. White is now completely lost. Is this the most infamous chess gambit? The one that is unrefuted, unbeatable and unplayable? It just can't be. We have the Euro gambit accepted on board. How much did this move cost in euros? Just kidding, guys. Maybe he is just bad as every other human, lol. Alireza found the two-move sequence and now it's just a matter of conversion. Rook takes pawn, king g3, rook goes to b2, white's rook grabs the pawn, but after rook to c3, white resigns. Black is about to win another bishop after king moves or the bishop blocks. So what was your opinion on this controversy? A lot of grandmasters, especially WhiteElo, aren't happy at all that this kind of tournaments are possible. However, they have already played their last game and things didn't go too well for Alireza. Apparently the Euro Gambit declined was played, ha ha ha. If you enjoyed this video, consider checkmating that subscribe and like button. For any suggestion, just put it in the comments and I will do it. Or not. See you soon. Or not.